fastest-selling Android smartphone hits shops around the world today. Samsung's Galaxy S5 is up for grabs in 125 countries worldwide. Now, the company hopes to lure in tech lovers with new features like a 16-megapixel camera and a heart rate monitor. But today is not only about that S5. Samsung is also bringing out 3 new smartwatches. The wearable range offers features including fitness apps and music players. Now, the Deputy President of Samsung Mobile Europe joins me now. John Daniel Aim is live with us from London. Thanks so much for joining us on what I know is an exciting day for Samsung, but it must come with some trepidation. I mean, the margins are getting squeezed in that smartphone market, and certainly there's a tough fight for market share. What is the S5 going to do for your company?
Hello. So actually, the Samsung's profit performance beats analyst expectations so far, and we acknowledge that there is a fierce competition. So this is why we invest so much in R&D to launch new devices such as the Galaxy S5 today, which will deliver new experience, new features, new intelligence to our customers.
In terms of the reviews, they haven't been so good. They've said that it very much looks like the S4. What would you tell consumers about trying to convince them it's time to upgrade to the S5?
So what we did when starting looking into the S5, which has been under development for months now, is analyze what really matters to people, and come back with our R&D capacities to investigate how we can deliver better value. This, for example, comes with new features such as the heart rate monitor, or very simple features such as the battery life, for example. You know, you have an ultra power saving mode that will help you to go through the end of the day. So delivering what really matters to the people around the globe.
In terms of these new phones, though, some people have their old models and are saying, look, this is working just fine. It's not propelling us to the next level of technology where I feel I have to shell out for this right now. I mean, what can you tell us about what is in the pipeline coming after the S5?
So there will be more coming after the S5, but today is a very exciting day for us because we're launching the S5, and not only the S5, but also a triple of wearable devices that come together with it. You know, the Gear Fit, which I have here, and the Gear Neo and the Gear 2, which are also incredible devices that will expand the ecosystem and this new trend in the industry.
Now, what does the Samsung's market research say about those wearables? Because some recent research has showed that after people have bought them, there hasn't been a good uptake on them, and they kind of find them a bit of an accessory that they don't need once they've got that smartphone in hand.
So we do think that this is a very fast-growing market, and there will be much more to it. The first Gear we launched, we sold about 1 million devices, which is an unprecedented record for a first smartwatch. And this second wave of devices will push further the way people see these devices. There is many more things you can do with a smartwatch now, even in the Gear 2 compared to the Gear 1. You can, for instance, with a Gear 2, even remote control your TV, because we have put an infrared sensor in it. You can monitor your heart rate. So these devices will accompany the people throughout their whole daily life, making you feel better, making you feel more acute about your fitness, for instance.
Okay, Mr. M, we'll continue to follow this closely, especially considering all the competition that your company finds itself in right now. And I appreciate you taking the time to be here with us. Appreciate it. Now, a slump in technology stocks has rained on Samsung's parade a bit. Shares were down a little over 1% at the close in Seoul. Technology stocks have been falling around the world, led by steep losses on the NASDAQ. Now, investors are approaching Samsung stock with caution after the company forecast a drop in annual operating revenue, and that was just earlier this week. Now, Facebook's $2 billion purchase, meantime, of the virtual reality developer Oculus VR has caused a lot of head-scratching and tongue-wagging. That would be buzz. Investors and tech geeks are trying to figure out what Facebook's plans are, and its main product is the Oculus Rift headset. Now, it's a mask that video game players would wear to see an interactive, high-definition 3D video environment. Now, it's gotten rave reviews at tech conferences, but hasn't gone on sale yet. Now, some wonder whether Facebook simply wants the revenue from a hot new gaming product or whether the social network envisions communication, actual communication using that kind of a device in future. I want to bring in CNN Money's tech correspondent, Lori Siegel, who has been speaking to the CEO of this company. Lori, I mean, how does all of this fit in, this virtual reality company that has been so focused on gaming? How does that fit into the grand plan, if they've got one, for Facebook going forward?
It does seem like a weird pairing, right? You know, you see Facebook spending billions for apps like WhatsApp, for Instagram, but not for hardware. And really, this is their first play into hardware. And what we're seeing, Paula, is Facebook is making a bet. They see that tech has moved beyond the PC to the smartphone, and now it's moving beyond that. And they're saying they think the next big thing is going to be vision. Now, I actually spoke to the Oculus CEO, Brendan Ereb, and he talked to me a little bit about the partnership. Listen to what he said.
And the partnership wasn't about money. I mean, we didn't run a process. We didn't go and talk to other companies and try to shop it around or something like that. Internally, we all wanted to partner with Facebook. We felt like that was the right partnership. They don't have a platform. They have a website and a set of mobile apps, the most popular mobile apps out there, but they don't have their Android. They don't have a platform. And looking at Oculus, basically Mark said, look, we're willing to take the bet that this is going to be the next big platform and that we can really, and maybe the final platform. And
so that's why, even if Google's knocking on your door, that was not something you'd be interested in?
Yeah, no, I mean, getting the attention of somebody like Mark and his team and making, knowing that we're going to be a big focus of what they want to do over the next decade, understanding how important social and communication was going to be to this, that this could be the most social platform of all time because you'll finally have face-to-face communication. Ultimately, this will largely replace 2D monitors.
It's pretty interesting. And Paula, I will say it's also interesting speaking to someone who has just sold their company to Facebook for $2 billion. He spoke to me a little bit about going over to Mark Zuckerberg's home for dinner, and they decided to do the deal. Fast forward 3 very quick days. They were locked up in Facebook's headquarters, and the deal was done. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
Wow, talk about a front row seat to that kind of future for Facebook, that social network. I'm just fascinated that he actually said that Mark Zuckerberg said to him, this might be the next big platform. I mean, that's extraordinary. And now if I'm sitting here and I'm looking at this really strange thing you just showed me, I mean, do we know yet when people might be buying it and what it will actually look like? I mean, my son will really like that thing because he immediately goes to video games, but me? I mean, how's this going to work?
Absolutely. Well, they say that if it's not out by the end of 2015, there's a real problem. But I had that same question. I want to know how this would affect me. What does this look like for somebody like me? So I actually spoke to Brendan about that. I said, what are the real-life applications? Listen to what he said.
You can actually just look around and you can have objects in front of you. You can experience different gaming things. You could have an IMAX theater. And then to actually experience a shared sense of presence. This where you truly believe you're somewhere and now you actually believe other people are there with you and you look at them and if they look at something you can both look at the same thing together. There's no more window. That's I think going to be the magic of virtual reality for a long time, is going to be this shared sense of presence, and that's largely based around kind of a social communication layer.
And let's be honest, we don't want to all be walking around with these massive goggles. And so I asked him about that, and he said they're going to be more accessible to consumer when they come out to consumers. And he actually said maybe one day the goal is to make them almost look like Ray-Bans, so we can be walking around the street wearing these.
That's fascinating. It's like FaceTime on steroids, right, in terms of the communication that you have. And $2 billion, Lori, huh? $2 billion.
It's a brave new world.
Okay, I better get ready. Thanks, Lori. Appreciate that. That was a great interview. Thank you.
Thanks.
Google is also betting on techie headgear. Google Glass will go on sale to the general public for the first time on Tuesday. Now, until now, the wearable computer has only been available to limited groups of developers and Google's preferred customers. Yes, they're already feuding. William and Kate renew their rivalry on the water during their visit down under. It's actually New Zealand.